Stopping distances. Now, Zip, how much should you increase your stopping distance when on a wet roadway?
10?
10 what?
I don't know, Sheriff. 10 more than the number of fucks I give.
Zip sits on a single student's desk in the sheriff's office, doodling lightning bolts on the provided notepad. Hitch stands up at the whiteboard, copying word-for-word excerpts from the Maritime Bay driving code. She squishes her cheek upwards as she rests it on her hoof.
I still don't get why you had to close the sheriff's office today for this.
Because you almost totaled the Mairstream when you tried to land on that icy landing strip. You could have killed us or seriously injured us. Not to mention, you could have hit some obstacle hidden under the deep snow. That's why we're doing these remedial driving lessons, Zip.
Call me detective,
Zip says with the same nonchalance.
If I have to call you Sheriff, you should give me the same respect.
Fine, detective. What is the safe stopping distance when traveling at 35 miles per hour?
I don't know, 5 meters?
Wrong, Zip. It's here. Literally here, on the board. He taps loudly on the whiteboard with his pointer. Which proves you haven't even been paying attention to me for the past 2 hours. Look, Zip, we may be friends, even co-workers, but I've got my sheriff's duty to teach you. This isn't a fun thing, okay?
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't see the board, Sheriff. I was too busy staring at you.
She lets out a smirk. If that was your attempt to sweet-talk a police officer so you can get away with breaking the law, it's not working. Zip suddenly blushes.
That wasn't a pickup line! Jeez! You want a pickup line? I'll give you a pickup line.
Silence. Well, Hitch says.
Not yet. I have to think of one, and then find the opportunity.
Fine. Anyway, business before pleasure. Now moving on to proper signaling. Zip flops her head onto the desk, and so does a few strands of hair. Her hairspray is losing grip after missing her usual midday respritz.
Do you even know how to fly an aircraft, Hitch?
Well, I commandeered a tram once, trying to chase a walking trash bin down Main Street. Zip stares, wide-eyed. Hitch chuckles nervously. It's a long story. Anyways, that's besides the point. He pulls out a thick volume. See? Section 59, Subpart 26A of the Maritime Bay Driving Code. Operators of motorized vehicles that willfully put themselves or their occupants at significant risk of bodily harm shall report to the sheriff's office within 72 hours and be given remedial driving lessons. Zip flips through another thick volume. Volume 5 of 66.
Oh yeah? Then why does it say in Section 242, Subpart 49C, all drivers must pledge allegiance to the Supreme Mommy prior to starting vehicle?
Hitch quickly snatches the book away from Zip. Yeah, that's one of the garbage bylaws Sprout put in when he was Emperor. I thought we had removed them all. I'll have to send this to our clerical department. Zip takes the book back from him.
You know that's me, right?
Zip's supposed to just be a detective, but staffing is short these days. It's just her and Hitch. And Sparky, well, Sparky should count as negative staff, if there's such a thing. Zip rolls her eyes.
Look, Hitch, you're clearly not even qualified to teach me how to fly a plane. In fact, I'm probably the only pony alive in Equestria who's ever flown a plane before.
The bylaws clearly state...
Your bylaws are a piece of crap!
Are you challenging my authority? The sheriff leans in closer, his badge catching the light. The two ponies death stare for a brief second. No pony to ease the tension. Sparky is away with Izzy for the day. Whatever comes of that is in Celestia's hooves, but that's a whole other story. Zip is the first to blink.
Look, Sheriff, no, Hitch. You don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. It makes absolutely no sense why you're even making me do these so-called remedial lessons. But if it tickles your bylaw itch or whatever you got down there, I'll sit and answer your dumb questions. You say I'm in compliance of the law? Then we'll both be out of here. But don't expect me to care about this. Deal?
Zip remains locked in her death stare. Hitch sighs and slumps in agreement. which is a pity because he looks so more attractive with good posture. Now, last question. What is the minimum distance you must park away from a fire hydrant?
15 feet.
Zip says before letting her eyelids fall like the setting sun outside the window. Good. Have a cookie. Zip already ate 5 from the dinner they had ordered in.
Geez, Sheriff, you're treating me like some kind of pet. You've been spending way too much time around Sparky. Oh, how many bylaws has he broken, by the way? Arson, candy theft, vandalism of public property. Oh, unauthorized transmorgification of official police equipment.
He's just a baby, Zip. Zip rolls her eyes.
Right.
She lowers her voice to a snarky whisper.
Nepotist.
Stop that. Do I have to name the number of Zephyrhide's bylaws you broke when you were a filly? Zip blushes. The 4th time she's blushed today.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Zip, save your breath. I know everything. Whenever Queen Haven comes to visit, I just flash a smile, oil my muscles, serve her some tea, and she spills everything to a handsome young stallion like me. Oh, let's start with the flying ketchup incident of '07. With that, she blushes an even deeper shade of ketchup red.
Stop! Fine! You're like blackmailing me into not calling out your faults. Hope you're proud of yourself. Corrupt sheriff.
Ketchup aeronaut.
Corrupt sheriff.
Ketchup aeronaut.
Corrupt sheriff,
Ketchup
corrupt sheriff,
aeronaut,
corrupt
ketchup
sheriff,
aeronaut,
corrupt sheriff,
ketchup
corrupt
aeronaut.
sheriff.
Zip drops her cookie onto the floor. The 2 ponies quietly follow the cookie with their eyes as it rolls along the grimy tile floor, landing in a corner saturated with eraser dust.
Oh.
Zip mutters. More eraser dust blows into the corner. Hitch reaches for the white paper bag. I'll get you another one.
That was the last one.
Oh.
Oh.
Zip looks around her palate, trying to taste the ghost of the last white chocolate chip cookie she ate. She turns to Hitch, staring at his lips, and the phantom flavor gets a little stronger. She catches Hitch staring back, and she quickly turns away. You know, Zip?
What?
It's tough sometimes. I can tell ponies don't litter or don't text while driving. I'm used to that. Regular ponies are easy to police. But sometimes I just feel... well... what kind of a sheriff am I when I can't discipline my own adopted kid?
Come on, Hitch. Sparky would be a hoofle for any of us. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Zip... actually, I really appreciate you coming here. Knowing you, I was half expecting you to rip up the summons and not show up at all.
Hey, that's a direct attack. You think I'm some delinquent who
Look, my point is... Hitch quiets her down with a raised hoof. I know I'm a big stickler for rules. Heck, Sonny's given me flack for it since I was a pretend sheriff as a foal. I know it must annoy you. Zip settles for just a silent nod. Then she changes her mind.
Actually,
Then she nods again, trying to erase that blip of time she spoke. Actually, what?
Nothing.
You were definitely trying to say something. Hitch leans close, grinning, staring deep into her eyes. That's my move. Zip wants to yell, but instead her expression softens. A strand of gelled hair breaks free.
Actually, Hitch, I appreciate it a lot. Some pony who stands up for principles, no matter how hard it may be. Unlike how my sister and mom used to be, you have spine.
She pauses.
I like that a lot.
Thanks for bearing with me, I guess. Hitch shrugs. I know sometimes I get a bit stubborn.
Boy, are you stubborn!
She groans and rolls her eyes again, this time with a tinge of red on her cheeks.
Jeez, you just gotta wheedle the truth out of me, don't ya?
Part of the job, Zip. The sheriff winks at her.
Stubborn, corrupt sheriff.
She gives him a nudge, ruffling his fur as she sinks her hoof in. Ketchup aeronaut. He nudges her back. They laugh for a moment, then Hitch clears his throat. Well, Zephyrina Storm, looks like you have satisfied the requirements for remedial driving lessons, pursuant to Section 59, Subpart 26A of the Maritime Bay Driving Code. In my capacity as Town Sheriff, you are now officially cleared to operate a motor vehicle within Maritime Bay jurisdiction. We hope you'll take what you've learned in these lessons and exercise precautions in the future. As part of the formality, he hands her a slip of paper signed by the Town Sheriff at the bottom. It's a forgettable legal document, mostly occupied by blocks of text. However, something about Hitch's own signature, in blue ink contrasting with the black lettering, it makes Zip's face want to swell with pride. Hitch looks so happy. Well, that's that. Do you have any further questions about the material you've learned today? Zip raises her hoof, even though she's the only student and sitting less than 3 feet from the teacher sheriff.
Excuse me, Sheriff? I'm not too clear on stopping distances. I think there's one stopping distance we forgot to go over, one that's close to 0, I believe.
Hitch frowns in confusion. What's that, Zip? With a smirk, the ketchup aeronaut says,
The stopping distance between my lips and your cheek.
Epilogue.
Just a bit closer now, my Sheriff.
Zip whispers in a low, sultry voice. But then suddenly the door swings open.
Hi, Hitch! Oh, free cookie.
The familiar intruder picks up the cookie on the floor, coated in eraser dust, and pops it straight into her mouth.
Izzy, what the fuck are you doing here?
Zip yells. She managed to catch a whiff of Hitch's scent, but not close enough for her to taste his sensuous lips.
It's 8 o'clock, so I'm here to drop Sparky off back home. Here.
Sparky jumps off of Izzy's back and waddles towards Hitch.
Hey, dragon sitting was super fun. We did arts and crafts, we played Dare the Mare. Oh, here, Hitch, see what he made with this dragon fire today. He made you this new walkie-talkie with your cutie mark on it, and this power washer for your patio.
Oh, how nice of you, my precious little Sparkaroni. Hitch walks up to cuddle his dragon son. Meanwhile, Izzy mutters quietly from one side of her mouth.
Oh, also on a totally unrelated note, Pip's phone has mysteriously gone missing from the Bright House. And Sunny's ear cleaner, too.
Zip is still staring at the obliviously giggling unicorn, growling like a tiger.
Oh, hey, Zip, didn't notice you there.
Izzy waves.
I thought the sheriff's office was closed. Have you been here all day, Zip?
Zip suddenly breaks out in a cold, nervous sweat.
Yes?
What for? And why are you and Hitch standing so close to each other? You're almost touching hoofs.
A pause. Then a tiny spark literally pops from the tip of Izzy's horn.
Oh, I get it. You two, well...
She cautiously steps back, unable to wipe the smug grin off of her face.
Oh, never mind. Silly old me. I'll be going on my merry way. I'll take Sparky, too. I'm charging time and a half for extra dragon sitting, Hitch. And you're paying to replace Pip's phone. Have fun. Wait till I tell Sunny about this. Zippy and Hitchy sitting in a tree. K-I-S...
No, don't get the wrong idea, Izzy. Well, I'm here because it was, well, remedial driving lessons, of course. And, Hitch was teaching me. Isn't that right, Hitch? Sheriff?
Even Hitch jumps into cover for Zip. Yeah, it's, sheriff's orders, and nothing fun at all. Driving lessons required per bylaw, 420, subpart 69D.
Oh, I see.
Izzy says.
Then when can I start my lessons?
Hitch furrows his brow. Why? Do you need remedial driving lessons, Izzy?
Well...
The unicorn chuckles nervously.
I think I might have chased Posey down Bayshore Drive on the Izzy-mobile and made her pull all the muscles in her rear legs. The lawsuit's pending.
Silence. What the hey is going on in this town? Sparky walks up to comfort the sobbing sheriff as the two mares giggle. That was unbelievably adorable and funny. God, I really am a sucker for romantic comedy. Anywho, let's get on to our romantic donators. Top donators are 630, BadassWaffle, Only One Thing, Ceru, Orion, IronSky, and Jessie Smith. Matchpick 109, JockeTF, Darkside, Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel, Skies, Austin Rollins, 2 Hex, Brother Mortar, Omicron, Light, Red, Top 52, Will Chris, Twinkie, Rise, Soul, Shadow Moon, Luigi 88, Chancer Crust, Pixelmook 369, Bobcat, GGF, Murder Princess, and many more awesome people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.